Good morning, Amulya. Mm, Today, all set, Prajit?
Yes, I joined.
So you want to lead the discussion? You can share the screen, right? I just started recording, so maybe if you want to have a link to the doc or
I can open it.
okay, fine. You can start sharing the screen as well.
Okay. Hi, Amelia. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Speaker, where's the volume?
I can hear you.
Okay, fine. Okay, I think we can get started then. Okay. So hi everyone, welcome to the CAPI IBM Cloud meeting today. So we are meeting, I think, after a very long time. So last meeting was on 18 March 2025. So I think we are meeting after almost a month now. So we will quickly go through all the commits that have been done so far post 18th of March. Okay. Okay. To start with, as you can see, we have done certain. Yes. Okay. So we have done, as you can see here, we have done certain package bumps here. Then we have bump Golang to 1.23 on March 19. Shilpa did a new proposal for adding the additional listeners to specific machines. So that proposal is merged now and she'll be working towards that. Okay, so we can see the design doc and the flow diagram she has merged here. Okay. Also, we bumped the gcloud image to have the required Golang version of 1.23 since we bumped the project Golang version itself. Then few of the other package bumps are also done. Okay. There's a commit from Arshad as well to add. This is basically to add reference links to the various environment variables that we have and provide a description about each one of those. Okay. Then we have fixed some of the Go vulnerabilities that we noticed as part of our tree scan on the controller image. As you can see here. Okay, so we have bumped a JWT version here. So I think it was showing some vulnerabilities in the scan. So that has been fixed now. Okay. Next is, okay, release manifest target. So okay, so earlier when we were doing the release process, right? So we used to run the target make release, and that make release in turn used to call a release manifest internally, right? By passing the core controller image. Now what we have done is we have switch that environment variable. So rather than having to do make release and internally it will release manifest, right? We have propagated that controller image option itself to the release manifest target directly. So now running release manifest as a separate target itself will generate the proper YAML files for the manifest. So just a minor change, but this will just fix those release target. Okay. Okay. Then Karthik worked on removing the usage of the deprecated webhook validator, right, and the default one. So Karthik, do you want to quickly go through this one? Okay, let me just open it.
Yeah, sure. So it's like the controller runtime has removed some, it deprecated some methods, and eventually the cluster API also did the same. And also there is some new webhooks they suggested instead of using the default, the custom validator. So in this change, I think I mainly worked on adding those custom validator webhooks to the IBM Power BI's resources.
Okay, thanks, Karthik. So I think here we switch from the older approach of
Yes.
using webhooks to the new way of having customized
Yes.
webhooks. Okay. Okay. Next one was generating the templates pointing to the registry case file, right? So as we know that the earlier registry that we had is deprecated, and they told us to migrate to and start consuming from registry.kits.io. So our images are already available over there. So instead of using from the gcr.io, which is deprecated now, so we already migrated to the registry.kits.io. So as you can see, we have updated all the templates with the correct registry now. So they treat a registry as the production registry right now. Okay. Next is moving away from the controller runtime scheme, right? So
Yeah. So it's like in our API types, we need to register the scheme for our resources, and then there are a couple of ways of doing it. One is directly using the controller runtime defense scheme, other from the main gates API machinery. So what's the disadvantage is the cluster API suggests is that we should move away from controller runtime because it adds so many dependencies. So also the cluster API also for the same thing. So I have referred it and updated it to use the API machinery schema. So there is some syntax changes, but there is no other changes apart from it.
okay. Yeah. So basically trying to be in line with the latest code changes being done in the KPI repository. Okay. Okay. Moving on, so we have done the linting package bumps here. So we upgraded it to use the latest possible version. So this was another major PR that Karthik worked on, moving out the webhooks out of the API directory into a dedicated one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, so again the cluster API recommendation. So currently in our API directories we have the webhooks as well. So if some other third-party application imports our APIs, they need to import all the dependencies. So they suggested to move to some internal other repositories and have intermediate functions to use it. So by this way, our API directory becomes lightweight and our import chain reduces to some extent.
Yes. I think this is the approach which CAPI was already adopting, and we have moved to that. So going ahead, our new webhooks will be in the internal directory. Next was Anshuman worked on fixing the bug in the boot volume name, right? So yeah, so I think he encountered this when he was trying to create specific volumes, right? So we were passing the volume name, I think, to the nested variable. So he has fixed that, and this should go ahead and create volumes properly now. So I think he was getting conflicts when he was trying to create volumes. So the one which was getting already created was then throwing up an error saying that it's trying to create something which is already created. Okay. Next up, few other package bumps, and okay. So this is another big PR, like adopting the CAPI v2 beta to status changes, right, and the controller changes that Karthik worked upon.
It's like a very big changes for other resources. The cluster API they're planning for V1 beta 2 releases where they have made a lot of enhancements, and I have linked the issue as well. They are the enhancement. So they have deprecated so many methods, and also they have standardized the condition. So in the first iteration, I have added the V1 beta 2 as a type in the status field, and I have created as necessary condition types as well. So I added this particular commit I had only for the IBM Power BI machine and also the IBM Power BI system. The same thing should be done for all the other resources as well. So currently I've done for two.
But who's taking care of the other ones? Do you have a plan?
Yeah, I think I'm planning to check the team if someone's interested in.
So do you have a epic or something created umbrella issue for that?
Yeah, I think I have created one.
Okay. But okay, this is only mainly as a cleanup sort of thing, or are we?
So I think not a cleanup. We have to adapt to this.
Yeah. So my question is that right now we are what we're targeting for this release in next month sometime. Right? So
Yeah. For
have
this
time for that.
No, for this release we can't do it. I think even the cash fee they're also planning for August. The we are ready to release. By then, if we can adapt to completely.
Half we have done in this release. This will not impact like half or few
No.
resources half for the next release.
No, it won't do it because it's just enhancement to the existing feeds.
Okay.
So we're not removing it.
We're not removing or
Yeah, no.
this.
I just marked a couple of feeds as deprecated, but not removing anything.
This conversion is also happening, right?
Yeah. I think what CAP has planned is that once they have stabilized V1 they are going to remove the beta one. By that time, we have to adapt.
Okay. 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 Fine. Okay.
If there is going to adapt to V1 there's a lot of changes has to go in.
And we'll need to do this adoption in VPC as well, right? Yes. Okay, going ahead, few other package bumps that we did. So yeah, Amulya worked on bumping cluster API to the 1.10 series. So these had some breaking changes and she fixed those. So Amulya?
Yes, most of them were minor, but one of the change was with the Ginkgo syntax. So that was one minor change. And apart from that, we were installing those cube builder binaries using that fetch external bin script externally. But that is not needed because we already have this env test which takes care of everything internally. So this also we removed. Yeah, these were the two important changes that went in.
Okay.
And a couple of E2E syntax changes with whatever the upstream they have added. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Amulya. So next thing was I worked upon adding the release node generation tooling, right? So this is the tooling which is available in the Kubernetes repo, which they use to generate the release nodes when they do any Kubernetes release, right? So I have added the initial skeleton of it here. So basically, when we plan to do a next release, we can just specify the release version that we are that we are going to put out, and then run the command using this tooling, and it will just fetch all the commits that have done between those different commits, right? The main branch and the previous release stable commit, right? And then it will get the difference and fetch the release notes and generate a release notes format file. So it will generate in our empty file, and then we can just copy paste those and add it to our release. So it generates in 3 different sections what has been changed. It will just group together all the packages that have been bumped into a different section and the rest of the features. So this also requires, so once this is done, it is up to us how we want to format, what we want to include, what we don't, and then finally we add it to the actual release.
So will it pick the release node section, something like that from the PR?
Yes, from the PR. So far I have ensured that all the PRs that we have worked upon post the last release have the proper release notes. So I have pinged the individuals who had committed something, right, and release note. So I got those fixed as well. And going ahead, when we do reviews also, right, we take care that release note is properly updated, because that's the only source to get that data.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next is Guna worked on adding the E1050 system type. So this was just a minor change. So there was another system type which is no longer, I think. Yeah. So she dropped E880 from the list of validation enums. So, and added ones which were missing, that is E1080, and minor updates to the constraints on the memory and the CPU values and the links to the specific talks. Okay. Next up, Amulya worked on fixing adding the kube config and the cluster config path, right? So I think this
Yes,
was the
it's
failure.
done PR.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was missed adding in the bumping PR, so it was just fixed by us.
Okay. And this was also causing the failure in the E2E, right?
Yes, one of the
Okay.
failure.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. So Karthik worked on updating this CCM image, right? So earlier used to pick up a specific commit which was quite older in the OpenShift controller repo. So now we are moving to the latest commit that we have, and Karthik built that image, and we have already added it to the registry.kers.io, and we are also consuming this in our project. Yeah. Next up, yeah, Amulya. So this was to initialize the Power VS image.
Yeah, so it was a minor bug where the image we were initializing it initially, and this IBM Power's image was not nil. So it was waiting for that image to be ready. There was a condition for it to be waiting for the image to be ready, but that is only applicable when we specify image ref. So now we declare it, and then if it is nil, it goes and fetches the information from the spec.image where we mention either ID or name, and then proceed with the machine creation.
Okay, and this was noticed during CI failures or something?
Yeah, it was happening in CI. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So after that, quite packages that got updated. Then yeah, so this.
Sorry, we need that fix in previous release as well, Mali?
No, but actually this was introduced as a part of my refactoring PR.
Okay, okay,
So we fixed in the
fine.
Yeah.
So it was a regression, so whatever.
Yeah. So this PR was basically once Karthik built the latest image for CCM, we need to update the templates with the latest commit of that image. So that was done as part of this PR. Next, Anshuman worked on adding support for the additional volumes in the VPC machines, right? Okay, so we have worked on those. Yeah, so he introduced a new field called additional volumes and then defined the specific parameter that it supports. So now we can have the capability to attach additional volumes as part of our VPC machines that we create. So I think Amulya also talked about this already, the Ginkgo thing, right? So
Yeah, this
this is
one. Yeah. This one, so in the E2E, once we bump to the 1.10, suddenly they will create two clusters as a part of the test suite. So both of them initially were running serially, but here they both were getting created parallelly. That was causing conflict in VPC creation as well as in Power VS. So I'm not sure why this didn't occur before. When we mentioned the Ginkgo nodes, there's already three, which specifies that it's going to be run in parallel. So I just changed it to one. Yeah, I don't know what was causing this suddenly.
But what happens, like, can we make it parallel? Is there a way to do it?
It will cause conflict, Manju, if it's parallel, because it only, for example, in VPC, we only pick one region. And in that region, we try to create two clusters, and it was causing this subnet CIDR conflict. And in Power BI also, it was causing a conflict because we use one network and we only have 5 ports in that network. We uh, we we might have to think on what changes would be required to make it parallel.
Okay. Um, okay, that's fine. Maybe if we increase the test coverage, I think maybe then it makes sense because
Yeah.
we can finish the tests a little sooner, right?
Yes. This was initially also running serially only. The three number was not taken into account when I saw the runs before this. The bump PR was merged. It was always running serially.
No, what I meant is, like, let's say if you run the test parallel, then you can finish faster.
Yeah, it will definitely. Yeah, it will definitely reduce the time.
Okay, that's okay. Fine.
Okay. Yeah. So next, 1.10 got released, so we just updated Cappy to that. So the breaking changes or anything which was there was already taken care by Amulya when we initially moved to the beta release, right? Then I worked on fixing the Trevi scan flow. Uh, so what I have noticed is that when we have this Trevi version of 58.2, right? So what was happening was it depends on the Docker package, but there is some other dependency in our project which requires the latest version of the Docker. But then what happens is because of this conflict, Trevi is not compatible with that particular version of the Docker. So the only way to fix this was to change the approach. So first we used to just build Trevi on the fly when we used to do that, and now what we are doing is, since it is also available for PPC, we are directly downloading the tar file and then running the scans against the images using the tarball binary that we get here. And yeah, so the older code to build the Trevi, we have got rid of that from here. So I think this is similar to the other changes, right, which Karthik upon to adopting the V2B beta 2 status changes.
Yeah, so this we merged yesterday. So like power based machine, it's the changes for IBM power based cluster resource.
And anything else which is remaining from the Power BS side?
Yeah,
Image.
image is there.
Image is remaining. Okay. Okay. And yeah, so I think Anshuman raised this PR to fix the template that he has merged, right, for the additional volume. So values for the size of the disk or volumes that he had. So he has tweaked those and fixed, I think. Yep. Okay. And apart from them, I think some of the minor bump packages that we have just merged today morning. Okay. So I think this was all the activity that we have done post the last release. Now I can just take a look at the issues that we have planned for the upcoming milestone for the 0.11.0 release. Yeah. Okay. So first one, control the Golang tool used to build and publish build artifacts, right? So Manju, on this, not sure exactly how we can control that Golang version, because even Cappy is dependent on that GCP image, right? So that's how they also operate. Uh, we'll probably have to, because when that GCP image becomes available, it comes with a Golang inbuilt, right?
Yeah.
And
Thinking maybe, I don't know. We'll have to explore further this.
mm, so this is right now marked for 0.11.0 release.
Spend some time.
Oh,
Please assign time.
okay. Coming back to issues, okay. Trouble, okay, we need to update the troubleshoot guide with the instruction to debug the CCM issues, right?
Yes.
So this can be done, Amulya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's fine. Unknown manifest in release one manifest, right? So this is basically that we have seen that there are certain unknown layers within the manifest that we push, right? Apart from the architecture that we support, as you can see here. And I tried manually pulling those unknown manifest like with the SSH, and it says that it is not existent and everything. So I think Puneet was also looking into this. Last time I checked, when I was debugging this, I was trying to figure out a way how we can get rid of those by converting the image into a tar and everything, but was not able to move ahead from there. And I think similar issue is seen with the CCM image also. Even the CCM image has unknown layers, so that I have checked. So we need to fix both. I'm not sure whether it's how we'll. I'm thinking that maybe we'll need to start from like build because since we have already pushed to registry, right? Maybe it is getting those traces as well. Yeah, so that needs to be checked. Like if we create a fully fresh image without considering the existing registry, if it fixes or not, that you need to check.
Oh, why? just a different target, so I'm not really sure what is it.
I think we'll need to debug further more
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it is working on that, or
So initially I have started, but then Puneet said he will take a look, so
Okay.
I can check with him.
For all these issues, we need to follow up with the folks. I don't know how, so I think maybe we need to find some best way of, not like in this meeting, right? I think
Yeah.
more frequently we need to follow the folks. I don't know how we do it.
I think we can
Next
start.
question.
Yeah, maybe I think we can start asking for a weekly status or something in the IBM Cloud channel, the Slack channel, right?
Yeah,
What
so
we
I'm
have.
just wondering if we can have some sort of huddle.
Okay. Yeah, even that can.
Offline huddle. If someone, so Prashant or Karthik, you want to take this up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can set up something, I think.
Like whoever is assigned with
Yeah,
the
Karthik, you take a lead on that.
Mm.
Maybe weekly, let's do one offline huddle in the community channel itself.
sure.
Okay.
Next thing was what we have is priority to network name or DHCP server name, right? So I think this was parked for some time.
Yeah.
Because we want to.
I think we need to discuss about this. I added the
Yes,
as well.
yeah.
Should we discuss now or?
We can, I think, when do you see
Let's switch all the other topics.
Okay, we can come back to this. Okay. Next was update release data in the documentation. So I think this person hasn't responded to even Anshuman. So maybe I'll ask him to just do the required changes and get done. This is just a minor thing update. Okay. Disable H2 P2. I think there is already a PR open for this, but we haven't merged it yet, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. So any reason for that?
I think only review is pending.
Okay, I think we can do that and then get this much. Okay. Next, okay, standardize the controller workflow. I think this will overall fit in the work that you're already doing, right?
So for 2 type of business is that. So remaining all is pending.
Okay. And with the latest adaptation of the
Yeah.
V1 beta 2, right? Even VPC will start breaking, right? Once they remove the previous one. So do we plan to take VPC as well, or we need to check with Christian?
So should we take care of VPC for ourselves or?
Is it a huge change or?
I think it needs some bit of change.
Not sure. I mean, maybe we can ask one of our, somebody's interested. Like,
Yeah. Sure.
I think we can just create the issues and keep, and then we
Okay,
can.
within this same.
Yeah.
Can you close this? Territory matters.
Okay. Okay. Next up, reconcile cost instance unit test. I think Kamal is working on that. I'm not aware about the status. We'll need to check with.
I will follow
with him. Okay.
It's like adding a test case to one particular block.
Okay. Add ability to support multiple service instance. So you think you said Anshuman is already exploring on this.
Anshuman is working on some kind of POC and is working on testing it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think our goal is to update that enhancement. There's one enhancement we are in work in progress.
Okay.
So with the whatever the changes he has done and up it for review by the next week.
Okay. So can I assign it to him? Keep.
Yeah, I think we are there.
Next, we have to refactor the reconcile normal function, right?
Yeah, so this comes as the standards control, right? I think we can keep that and refer it, then close this task. So it's like the part of standardizing the control flow, we can use this, cover this as well.
Okay, so we can move this context as under that and then
Yeah.
close this. Okay, I'll talk to Kamal on that.
Yeah, this is also for Power VS machine learning cluster. I have already incorporated this.
Okay. And okay, support.
Can we close this?
Yeah.
Support fetching PowerVS network with regular expression.
Yeah, so this is dependent on that.
The Darnish is thing. Okay. Okay. But do we want to, like, we can target it for this release, upcoming release, or?
I think as a part of the discussion, we can.
Okay. Yeah. Then add additional VPC infrastructure validation. So this one is not assigned to anyone right now. Okay.
What is right now? Sure. Can someone follow with them?
Yeah, sure. I
Any
thought of checking yesterday, but it was on vacation. Okay,
Stop a message and then CC Jeff.
sure, sure.
Okay. Next up, we have add way to specify only bootstrap VM.
Yeah, so for the
Right?
yeah, so the PR is up. Yesterday I reviewed once.
Okay.
Review and close this.
Okay.
The selector thing, right?
Yeah.
Think maybe you can mention that PR here.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
link it.
Yeah.
See.
Just for the record that we know. Okay, and exploratory framework to avoid using Calico spec entries. I think this is not assigned to no one right now. Okay, so it got okay. Sharat doesn't listen himself. Okay. Do we target this or can we move this to the next milestone?
Let's move to next because we already have plenty of tasks.
Not sure whether I have the permissions to move it.
You just remind me, I think I'll get you the required permissions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, add instrumentation also. I think this is also doesn't have any assignees as of now, but I think even this we can move to next, and then when one of us has some bandwidth, we can work on this as well. Yeah. Okay. So those were all the issues that we had that we are targeting for the next release. Okay, there also, I think there are quite a bit of issues that we have marked for the next milestone as well. Okay, I'll just quickly go through those. So enable infrastructure to verify. So I think Christian created this, so no assignee as of now, so we can check with him. So I think this cloud provider flag, I think there is a PR which Arshad has already raised, but we are waiting for the 1.33 to release to be happening. Like, yeah, so yeah, once we move to that, I think we can merge that PR and close this.
This is next.
Yeah, but I think there is already a PR for this. We were waiting for the V1.33 release to be adopted in CAPI.
In that case, we want to change this as a.
Yes, I think it will be closed by the time we come in this release. Yeah.
And I'll change the milestone for that.
Yeah. Then explore on how to fetch logs from machines. And Somalia, you want to keep this as next, right?
Yes, this needs exploration.
Okay. Explore on setting up notification for. Okay. So I think Somalia, we can close this. So I think there is someone who had raised a PR right already. So I think we can put in the appropriate comments and close the PR and maybe park this issue.
Yes.
Okay, VPC secure boot. I think we'll keep this for next now. Ensure deletion of internal resources in Power BI workspace. So, Amelia, any updates on this one?
This is not a hard requirement as of now. This came up because Power BI was changing something, but yeah, this can be parked for next.
Okay. Mock bump issue. So this is assigned to Kishan.
Yeah, I see a couple of releases that have been like that has come out from Obama, basically Obama. I'll try to see if that contains. I did go through the release notes, but it doesn't seem to conclusively point at the issues that have been fixed. Basically, the one which I raised. So I'll see if at all there's anything that has gotten and if it could resolve the issue that we're seeing on our side.
Okay. So I think this one Power BI CI.
We can
Yeah.
close this. I'll close this. I revisited yesterday, but we don't see this. We can open it if it's needed, but as of now, we can close this.
So we are not able to recreate or
It's not occurring in the CI also.
So I'll close this one. Okay. Okay. Tag controller created resources in cloud rather. So I think there is already a draft PR work.
Yeah, so after currently working on it, almost basically working on the deletion part. Again, I added it for agenda for some discussion regarding it. But this release, I don't think so. We can have it.
Okay, we can keep it to next time in that case. Okay.
Do we have a high level plan like create or you want to create normally?
Yeah, so
Maybe you want to create doc and KP sort of thing.
Yeah,
Proposals is required. I think some level of writing is required. I know you have written something in your the
Yeah,
issue.
the issue we
It is,
discussed
but-
with tag formatting.
Yeah, some documentation, some background is
Sure.
what is actually.
Yeah,
Then this requires API change as well, right? API spec also we need to change.
no, I think it's like we'll tag the
What if like you want to use custom tag and all that?
currently we have to thought about it. Maybe I think I will ask her to create a enhancement request also.
Yeah, even custom tagging, I think few providers, they do provide allow custom tagging, right?
Yeah, so but the intention of this was to mainly for our the purpose, like for deletion and maintenance, the controller part.
Yeah, but like, let's say if people, someone might say that, no, I want to have this tag. The format of tag should be
Mhm.
like this. For whatever reason, so let's say if somebody wants to have additional tagging for the created resources. For
Yeah,
some
correct.
management purpose.
Yeah, that's there, but yeah, that's like a feature, but here it's like the idea was to the controller credit we used to delete the resources, right?
Yeah, but so initially we can use that feature, then you can use it for delete or something else also, right? And I can think about how you handle it, it's not just for, yeah, typical.
Yeah, I think by default with control we can add a way to user to add some other tags as well.
Yeah, I mean, think
Mhm.
like, not just for, let's not limit the use case only for the deletion purpose, so let's think of like a broader end-to-end, um, reason for that.
Yeah, maybe I think I will.
Yeah. I
Think
think in the interest of time, I think maybe like, can skip the remaining ones because their enemy is very good.
yes, yeah,
And I don't
yeah.
think we are going to pull anything into the entries because we have plenty of tasks.
Yes. So,
Just
oh,
wondering, we can discuss.
yes. So before we quickly move, I just wanted to. So I see that.
Oh, bad man. What's wrong? It's not.
So post the 1.10 bump, Power BS is failing because they have made a specific field in the template as mandatory. Karthik and I worked and we also created a PR in the cluster API community that is merged yesterday morning. So I created a cherry pick PR for the 1.10. So once this is merged, Power BS should be fixed.
Okay, but it will be part of what?
It is getting cherry picked to 1.10. So then
they have a patch release upcoming. That's why they have
yeah,
merged it.
we have a patch release upcoming, 10.1. So once we update, we should be good.
You mentioned
In the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mentioned
tomorrow, today.
Yeah.
Are you sure, like, what was the, okay. Why they made it up, compulsory mandatory or something?
Yeah, so they're incorporating some API linting. So what the API linting suggests is that you should set all the fields to minimum required fields and those tagging. So what he meant is that he set the minimum required field for the token field to 1. So viewer in the control there is a logic to create generate one if it is empty. So what we are depending till now we are depending keeping it as empty and letting it generate by itself. Since it makes minimum like 1, right? Whenever we try to
But
upgrade.
can we work around with setting some value that is?
No, if you set something, the controller won't create the tokens. So that's why.
But there's no workaround for this. Like,
Yeah, the change is already merged.
yeah, change is already merged, but I'm just wondering if there is anything in the workaround.
I think workaround we need to create the token by ourselves and pass it. Not sure how that.
Okay.
It's like the QBDM join configuration.
Okay, so you mean like we need to create a token in hand and then submit in some.
Pass it the template.
Hmm.
I think by tomorrow, together patch release should be fixed.
Just like how they is. Okay. Alright, fine.
I think release 10 also I see latest build has failed. So
I'm not sure. I'll take a look. I think one cluster creation passed, other failed. Probably. I'm not sure.
I think this is one of the failures because I think it passed last time. Okay. So I see 0.9 is going fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
BP is failing because of the volume pair with Anshuman merged. That's causing some issue. So Anshuman is looking into this. He created a fix, but it's still failing. He's trying to reproduce this. So Anshuman is in the call. Anshuman, do you have any update here?
Yeah, sure. The problem is that for some reason it's saying that resource ID was not found, but when I look at the what was that API spec, it says that resource ID is not a required field and it just picks the default resource ID. And that's the case that I've seen when I try to run it locally as well. Like when I run the same template that the E2E test is running, the cluster gets created and the additional volumes have default resource group specified. So I'm not sure. Like I looked at the IBMCloud docs as well, and it says that all accounts should have a default resource group specified. So I'm not sure if it's something to do with the CI account or if there's some issue with the code.
Are you creating
I'm
a
having
volume is getting created in a different resource group? Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, it's getting created in the default resource group for the account.
For the volume.
Yes, for the volume.
Okay, in that case, I think we need to, I don't know, okay. But the VMs are creating a different resource group, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Can we derive somehow the resource group of VM and then make sure we create in the same resource? We need to understand
Yeah,
why,
sure.
why volumes are getting created in different resource groups. So I think ideally it should be all in the same resource group.
Okay, yeah, sure. That I can push. That's a very minor fix. Sure.
Okay, so you will how do you get to know the resource group of the VM? You can get the details somehow, or
So we have the cluster resource group. I think the VMs are also inheriting the same thing. I didn't really look into it too much, but just from a brief check, I think that is how it works. So I'll just use the same logic there as well. We're already using resource groups in some function calls in Power VS machine, sorry, VPC machines. I'll just follow the same pattern there.
okay, so but this is only for the additional volume, right? So we're not touching anything for the existing volume or anything like that. So just an additional
No.
volume, somebody submits it, so then that's when this is kicking in, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is happening in the CI because we by default creating additional volume, isn't it?
Yes,
That's
we
it?
did
Yes.
it template.
Okay, fine. And then we are deleting it after the creation, right?
Yeah, so there is a field in the additional volumes that simply says that when the VM it's attached to is deleted, the volumes are deleted as well. So that should take care of the volumes.
Okay, so that we're handling it like via the cleanup, not that
Yeah,
that.
so when the VMs are deleted, the volumes are deleted automatically.
Oh, is
We
this
don't need to
wrong?
handle it
You're
explicitly.
not leaving behind any infrastructure. No, that's the reason. Okay.
I think Anshuman, yeah, you need to take a look into that. You're creating it in the proper resource group. I think because you're not passing anything, it is going to the default one. Oh. PPC, I think for even the releases, we are seeing failures. Okay. So Malia, is this because of the same issue?
No,
think
that Mark cherry picked. I'm not sure. I didn't check this. Probably, what is that? There's this load balancer thing which is keeps happening. I'm not sure if it is that or I'll take a look. I didn't check this.
Yeah, let's document this error
Yeah.
then the issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So those were the CI updates that we had. Okay. Okay. So I think we are open for discussion on that.
The first one is like the network one. Currently, in Power BI cluster, we can specify any resource with the ID, name, and template expression. So currently, with the workflow, like whenever you set ID, what we do, we check that resource existing cloud with ID or not. If not, we will fail it. So what's happening with respect to network is that, right? So network also the ID is set, we'll check the ID is existing network, fill it. So what happens with the name is that if you say some specific name, we check the cloud, the name exists or not. If not, we go ahead and create a DHCP network. So when you create a DHCP network, the name whatever we pass it here, we don't have control over it. So it is a prefix. So what's the discussion we had is that should we make name also like ID in case of network? For example, the user sets some name, say network one. The control will go and check in the cloud. It's not there. It will go ahead and create it, and it will use it. So because it sets the ID, the status, both can use the name. The only thing is whatever the user set name, that name won't exist in the cloud. So because since we don't have a control over the network name.
And DSP only, this
Yeah.
applies only for the DSP.
Yeah.
But how user decides DSP use, okay, so that flow is.
Yeah, currently, the general flow is that the name, the network with the name not exist, you go and by default create a DHCP network.
By default we create.
Yeah.
What if like you want to control the name, like type of network also, then becomes a question mark, right?
Yeah, correct. But in the create infra flow, it's like the DHCP is the go-to way.
So right now we are focusing only on DSP, right?
Yeah.
I think we need a bigger discussion, like, I don't know, I mean, we need a detailed discussion.
Yes. So when
I'm not pretty sure on that, like there's so many complication things, right? I think ideally we should specify type of network also, right? Generally, let's say if there's a network creation, so what kind of network it is? Static or DSCP and all that, so that needs to be handled properly.
Yeah. Currently static network we never create.
Yeah, but we need to create.
Yeah.
See, as an infrastructure is an infrastructure,
Yeah, correct.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make it as a default as a DHCP, but we should allow static recognition also.
Yeah.
Right. That is what my opinion. So, but I'm not sure if you have a different opinion.
Yeah, we can consider because yeah, we can.
I strongly feel that we might need to rewrite the entire spec.
Yeah,
Next
correct.
version.
That also has a discussion like the multi workspace work we are doing, right? So as a part of it, we need to plan to go ahead with the new API version because it may contain some breaking changes. So as a part of it, we can cover all these things.
Yeah, I think maybe let's discuss on what we're going to do, and based on that, I think we can.
Sure.
We need to design like the spec.
Yeah, okay.
How we want to handle it. So all these loopbacks, like loopholes, we need to fix. The next version.
Yeah, I think
How do we handle the network creation, static or DHCP, or all that combinations we have to write and then maybe start with. Yeah.
I think like how CAPI created an enhancement proposal for UI method of API changes. I think we can also create and cover all the things.
Take a lead on that.
Yeah, sure.
I think once the POC is done by Anshuman, then we'll have some idea on what we want to do.
The API is required for supporting multi-workspace.
And as a part of that, we'll try to include the rest of the loopholes that we want to cover up.
So for now, what should we do it?
Let's keep it as is if it is not disturbing anything.
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to change it like something and then.
Yeah, currently the template will never pass network. So when you never pass network, it automatically generates the name and use it. If you pass some network name, then only the changes will go.
Yeah, let's discuss more on design, how we want to do it. So I think we hardly have any time in this release.
Yeah.
Right. So I think let's work on the design aspects.
Sure.
Then we'll come with how exactly the end-to-end flow works and all that.
Yeah.
Right. So because we need a proper release amount of work to sort this out.
We'll keep I'll make out of it.
Yeah, and then we need to get started early so that we just finish design and code and everything and take time. Sure.
And yeah, the second topic is that we have CAPI images in the cost bucket. We have some very long list of images.
Older releases.
Yeah, older lists I think we can delete. Maybe we can start deleting them.
Okay.
So whatever we are not using for the CI, I think maybe we need to make it as one routine checklist. The checklist we can make it like deletion of the older image.
Okay.
For example, like for the new release, can be another checklist in the new release saying that we'll delete the older release again -3 whatever. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. Image onboarding also. Do you have any checklist for the image onboarding? No?
We in the docs, in the book docs, we have the procedure to do that.
So template for that.
No.
Image onboarding and then image onboarding and then whatever.
So I think Kirtana is already working on automation for building those images. So as a part of that, we can ask her to document that checklist also. Yeah, so I think once we drop the older images, we'll need to update the book as well, because those links will be.
Yes.
So
Let me copy. You'll be part of that.
okay, I'll
Okay.
create an issue for that as well. Okay. Okay, so those were the two discussions that we wanted to have. Yes.
There's one more discussion.
Yes.
That multi-zone. So currently we are working on this multi-zone support, right? So the question is like, in generally when you say multi-zone, it's like multiple zones within a region.
Yes.
So should we stick to that, or should we support multiple workspaces within a zone?
Well, what's programmatically, I don't know how you want to limit it.
I think programmatically there might not be any challenges. Maybe Anshuman can correct.
It's pretty similar in both cases. If we want to restrict it, we'll just have to put a check that, like we'll have to, I think, hard code the zones and make a check that all of them are in the same zone. Basically, the different failure domains that we have.
Yeah, I think let's allow by default right now, and then if required, we'll add a check later, right? If just a check is the only difference, I think let's allow as is. Then we'll think about adding the restriction later if it is required, right? Because that will not break our stuff anyways.
Okay, then there's not.
So let's not make it a lot of complication. Yeah, I mean let's see. Let's keep it as is. Fine.
I think the last thing is like regarding the tagging. Right? So she's working on tagging, and currently we depend on controller created to delete the resources. Whatever the resources we want.
Let's not go very aggressive. Let's first target the tagging. Let's see how exactly it works and then behaves and all that.
Correct. To support.
Then we'll next.
Correct. My question is like, should that go with behind the feature kit, or should we add that along with the controller credit check, or how should that be done?
You mean like you want to control that as a feature kit or something?
Yeah, because currently by creating the resource, we can tag it. Okay, so the idea is to use the tag to delete the resources. So current flow is that we use the controller credit to delete the resources. We have these tags also now. So if you want to support both this, it's like should we use a tag to delete the resource and silence the error and depend on controller created, or add a feature gate and
I don't know. You come with a plan. Whatever you feel like. Yeah, I mean, I would say like let's not disturb right now as the first phase, right? So just add the tags. Don't even think about like deleting it. Then let's maybe as a feature gate, let's do it. Then later slowly fall back to like use as a default, and then like and the other one we can duplicate and then let's take a stepwise approach. It's not do everything and then it's fine. Disturb the other flows, right?
Yeah, so I think we have our next.
We have tagging for all the resources, or we still have
no, I think
the network we don't have. The workspace we have, and VPC for all the resources we have.
VPC, VPC of course, but I'm talking about the Power BS.
The Power BS,
can we just replace the entire thing with control created?
Yeah.
I mean, like, can we replace all the resources with tagging?
Yeah, only workspace and network we are depending on it. So workspace has tagging support. Network doesn't have.
Yeah, then how do you handle the networking?
Yes. One thought we had is that if the workspace is created by the user, that means that our network also automatically newly created.
Yeah, but there is a possibility that I'll have a pre-existing workload, but network is new, right?
Yeah, that one's value we need to come.
I think let's not go very aggressive on that part. I think let's take it easy and then step by step see how it goes. Not sure. We might need to check whether they have any plan of introducing tags for the network as well. Also, we need to check. Never know, right?
I think I heard they're planning long back.
And just cross check once. Based on that, we can decide when we want to really use deletion, like when we want to use the tags for the deletion, and then. Cool. Thank you.
So yeah, so we have our next release schedule, I think in 10 days from now. That's
It's very aggressive.
yeah, 10 days from now, yeah. Yes. So I think first thing we want to do once the patch release is out for Cappy, we'll get that in, and then we'll see how the CI behaves for next couple of days. And I think there are a few tasks I think which can be closed, so we'll try to do that. I'll check with few of the folks who are working on some of these tasks and see if we can cover that by this release, or then we can move to next. Yeah, so apart from this, one thing was from the release point of view. So we were planning that how we did a release last time, so we'll have maybe one more iteration with you of the release, so that we can record the meeting and get an idea of the overall process. Okay, we can do that.
Release tools and some things also you got in right thing.
Yes.
See if we can experiment with those tools.
Okay.
And you admin access, Adios admin access, you can take it and then can shut up.
Okay. Yeah, so I think maybe once we observe CIs for next few days, we'll take a
Yeah.
call and whether we can go ahead or maybe we need to delay or something like that. Okay. Any other discussions, points to be? Anyone on the call? Any updates or anything you want to bring up? Okay. Yeah, so please mark your attendance in the doc. And yeah, I think we can close the call. Thanks for joining. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.